Hey, you guys. So if you've ever experienced an unexpected job loss or maybe some kind of medical or family emergency, then you may know what it feels like to be stretched really thin for money. And as I co-host the Ramsey show, I talk to people almost every day whenever I'm on that show, and I hear so many of their life experiences and really the low point. And it has to be one of the scariest, most stressful feelings that a person can experience. And it happens way more often and even faster than you might think. And if you didn't know, I was actually born the year my parents filed for bankruptcy. And so, it took them years and years and years to try to come out of it, get to this place. And it was all because of, real estate investing and all of this. But for them, they hit that rock bottom. And it's really a scary place to be when you're completely out of hope. So today I'm sharing exactly what I would do if I lost all of my money. So overnight, if I woke up and there was nothing there, what would I do? This is my thoughts. So I want to be clear that, again, I don't wish this on anyone. And I hope that none of us have to be in that position. But again, life throws some curveballs. And trust me, there's a lot of opinions out there. So I do want to be clear that using the Ramsey plan and knowing what we teach from a principled standpoint is a lot of what I'm going to do. So if I woke up one day and again, had no income, no savings, here is the very first thing I would do. Number one, I would find income and I would take a job. And I'm not talking about just like cleaning up my resume or starting to apply. Like I would literally take a job just like that. Anywhere I can find to make money is what I would be doing. Then after that, I'm going to, say, okay, I have that baseline. There's actually money coming in because it's probably going to be like, an hourly type job of something you would just get today. Then my next goal is to find actually a salary position with benefits. But until that happens, I'm going to be earning any kind of income I can. And again, at that point, you're in survival mode. So it's not like, oh, this is my passion. No. I need money. And even if you're not doing your dream job or making amazing money, just know that having a paycheck gives a level of stability to your life. It really does. And so for some people that call in on the Ramsey show, they've been looking for a job for a year, right? And at those people, I'm like, listen, you have to find a job. It may not be the job, but find a job, have income coming in. And again, that's really where this all starts, is it starts with income. Then we're going to move on to budgeting, because the second thing I would do is start a monthly budget and just cut majority of everything out of my life. So anything that is non-essential is leaving. So this is memberships, this is streaming, this is subscriptions, this is going out to eat. This is probably my grocery bill, which has grown over the years. I would try to shrink it down where I could. I'm not going shopping, like I'm doing nothing. So in terms of the 7 baby steps, I'm basically at square one. I'm gonna be saving for a $1,000 emergency fund. I'm gonna do anything I can. Any extra margin will be thrown at savings at that point. And again, I'm gonna cut everything but my 4 walls, which is food, shelter, utilities, and transportation. So those are the things that I'm gonna be looking at, because that's the third thing I'll be doing, is just making sure that those 4 things are covered. Now, once you do that, you may make some adjustments in there, because if you have a really high mortgage payment, and if you're gonna be at a season where you're not making the income you were, there's a good possibility you're gonna downsize. So if it ever came time for me to have to exit my home for a financial reason, I want it to be my decision that I'm doing proactively and not waiting for the bank to kick me out, right? I don't want to get so far behind on mortgage payments. I would be more proactive in that sense if I could. So anything I could do to avoid something going on my record, like a foreclosure, again, is the best point possible. So selling the house may be an option, or other things that you look at to say, okay, what are some big changes that I could make? Now, speaking of selling, step number 4 is to start selling off everything. So, this is even selling cars, right? If you guys have 2 cars, maybe you go down to a 1-car family for a bit. Anything around the house that has some level of value, see what you can sell, again, to save up for that emergency fund. So any fancy appliances that you could live without, or clothes, all of that stuff, you guys, it can be replaced. But if you really woke up one day and you're like, oh my gosh, I'm at this point that we don't have anything, what are we gonna do? That's when you basically turn your whole life into a garage sale. And you cover those basic expenses, but you're saving up for that emergency fund. And you'd be surprised how much money you really can make selling secondhand items. It really adds up fast. And if you are in a pinch for some cash, it's a great option. The 5th thing I would do is pause any investing that I'm doing. So while I'm laser focused on building up that emergency fund, I want that cash liquid. In case something were to happen, I want that money available. So Again, if there's any investing going on that's long-term, I'll get to that eventually. But for now, I would pause it. And if you're doing this, you guys, and you're getting out of debt or you don't have an emergency fund, I would really have you consider pausing any investing, even retirement stuff for a period of time. Because I know it's important to invest for the future. But again, making sure that you have things in the present, money in the present to help you, it is the best thing you can do. And you want to keep a logical order of these priorities. So again, having 3 to 6 months of expenses saved before you invest long-term. These are the first 5 things that I would do if I had no savings and no income. But again, if debt was in the mix, this would be a different story too. And the sad truth is that more than 45 million households in America have some kind of debt. So if this were part of the equation, the first thing I would do is probably contact the creditors and just say, hey, can I have a short grace period or maybe adjust my payment plan temporarily while I get my income back to where it was? I'd even share a small bit of my situation with them and the plan that I have moving forward. And again, talking to a human, it really is powerful. Now, obviously, it may not change the situation, but at least you're trying. And you're not trying to get out of all the debt and just say, oh my gosh, I can't pay any of this. But you really are being strategic with your income and telling them the reality of where you are. And if I had to share my number one tip for financial planning in a crisis, it would be to take it one step at a time and to have hope. And honestly, this is why we have the Ramsey baby steps. When people suddenly realize maybe they are broke. Maybe they wake up and whether they've been laid off or not from their job, but they feel like, gosh, we have all these payments, we have no money saved. There are some things that we can start doing. And you want to start with checking a few boxes like increasing your income, getting rid of debt, and all of this will speed your process up more to feel like you have control over your money. And a great place to start is the 14-day money finder. So I'm going to leave that in a link below because I walk you through 14 days of how you can actually save money, find some margin, and it's really simple things you can do. And if you want the ultimate baby steps how-to with Dave Ramsey, make sure to click the link in the video below and check that out. So remember, no matter where you are, you guys, no matter where you are, you can make a decision to do something different with your money. You have that power. You really do. So remember to take control of your money and create a life you love.